Hey, so I hear you want to learn something about jazz. This is how I came into jazz. At first, I had this local radio station on. It was WMOT in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I loved hearing jazz in the background. And it always sounded like nice background music, but it added atmosphere to my apartment when I was 19. And so, but I really didn't know what I was listening to until I fell in love with it. So basically what you have are songs that all the jazz people learn and know, and then they each take turns presenting it in a way that they put their own spin on it. So once you start getting familiar with some of the songs that you're hearing in jazz, then you start to really appreciate what each artist does with them to make them unique. Those songs are called standards, and I'm going to start by giving you two standards. One is called Sweet Georgia Brown, and once you get an idea of what the song is made of in its basic form, you can hear what jazz is by how it sounds different than its basic form, and you can also learn about jazz players by seeing how they treat that song. So when I was a kid in the 1980s, I went to see the Harlem Globetrotters, and they're these basketball players that do all these tricks, and their theme song is Sweet Georgia Brown. They've been doing this since about the 1930s, and they travel the world to just impress you. And anyway, but before I knew anything about jazz, I was familiar with the theme, Sweet Georgia Brown, and the song because I knew about the Harlem Globetrotters. So when I got into jazz, I started hearing that song over and over again by different artists and seeing how they did this song. Now you'll notice in the background of this version of Sweet Georgia Brown what sounds like tap dancing instead of drums. And I've heard before that a lot of jazz drummers were influenced by tap dancing rhythms, which I think is super cool. And here's a swing rhythm played slow on the drums. Sickety, sickety, sickety. And when you're listening to jazz with a swing rhythm, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But the accent is on the 2 and the 4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that 2 and 4 is really important because jazz musicians will make fun of you if you go and hear live jazz, which I totally recommend, but you gotta snap or clap along in the right place on the 2 and 4. But it's fun to snap and clap along because then you're feeling swing. 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. I don't like much that game, but it's shame how she cools down. It's been said she ducks in bed when she lands in town. So what I would suggest doing is learning how to sing Sweet Georgia Brown with the lyrics, because once you learn how the song goes, when you hear the musicians improvise, which they will do, then you can hear how they're basically playing a different melody that they made up over the song, which just repeats and repeats and repeats. Now here's our band doing it. We do it fast. And I'm completely changing the melody because I can. In jazz singing, at some point you sing it like it goes, and at some point you change it up like I'm doing. Now when Pat takes a solo, in my ears, I'm listening to the melody along with it like this. New gal maid has got a shade on sweet Georgia Brown. To the feet also need sweet Georgia Brown. They your side want die for sweet Georgia Brown. I'll tell you just why. You know we don't lie, well, not much. It's been said she knocks him dead when she lands in town. Since she came on, what a shame how she cools him down. Fellas, she can't get off, fellas. She ain't met Georgia claimed her Georgia named her sweet Georgia Brown. Again. Got a shade on sweet Georgia Brown. To the people also need a sweet Georgia Brown. So the song just happens over and over again while each musician or a musician takes a solo. But if you don't know how the song goes in the background, sometimes it just sounds like a bunch of noise. Go, Pat, go! The other guitar player's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now Pat's finished. Got a shade on sweet Georgia Brown. To the feet also need a sweet Georgia Brown. So the song is started over again, and there's another guy taking a solo. I know that he's about finished because I know how the song goes. Sweet Georgia Brown. He's taking another one. To the feet that also need a sweet Georgia Brown. So I'm always thinking that in the background when I'm listening to jazz. Sweet Georgia Brown. They all sat on the death of sweet Georgia Brown. They just why. No, we don't find not much. This possession doesn't dead when she lands in town. Since she came up, what a shame how she cools him down. Ella, she ain't met. See that snare drum right there? I mean the hi-hat, that's called the hi-hat, the cymbal on its side. He hits a pedal with his foot that makes that